I made a video the other day just showing the different how to vote cards. I showed the Liberal how to vote card, the Senate ticket, UAP in 2 position for Victoria and Tasmania. So obviously if there's 2, there's something going on there. And I also showed a range of UAP issued how to vote cards in the lower house where Liberal has received preferential treatment over other freedom-friendly minor parties. And there's more cards where that came from, but I just wanted to put it all out there. So I was being accused of lying and making things up to be divisive. It's not. I was just interested in the truth, and some people might not like that, but that's how I've always been. So.
Did you do the preferencing?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
So I know there's a bit of controversy around the whole preferencing. What's your take on it? How are you feeling about all that?
I just think what we need to focus on is remembering that the how to vote cards are suggestions only. So it's nothing is set in concrete. It's just a suggestion from the party to say, hey, we think you should vote this way. It's actually up to the individual voter to number those boxes how they want. So what I'm telling people is just think about who you want to vote for, make your vote count, vote for the candidate, and just vote your way.
No, that's absolutely correct, but a pretty substantial of people follow how to vote cards religiously, and when the mantra the whole time has been we can't trust them, they're going to be at the bottom, in the bottom 3, then I think that's really why I called it out. Because if they didn't campaign on that, then I wouldn't have said anything. If they just came out and said that's what they're doing, then I wouldn't have felt the need to bring it up.
I'm the leader of the Senate team across Australia, and when you vote for the Senate, you've got to number 6 squares, right, to recommend people for your preferences. And I can tell you that in none of those squares will be the Liberal, Labor or Greens, right? There'll be no preferences given by our party to those parties in that situation. In the House of Representatives, if it's different, you have to number every square. So I can just say that the Greens, the Liberals and the Labor will be at the bottom of that ticket. And because the nominations haven't closed, we don't know who's standing in what place, we can't determine at this stage who will be out of the last 3, but they'll all be the last 3.
And if UAP management were watching this, what would you say to them?
Oh, well, I'd say something to the effect of, we've been through a lot of pain and suffering here in Victoria. There's millions of Victorians who are disaffected with the major parties, and campaigning on the mantra of putting them all last, it gave a lot of people a lot of hope that there was a great alternative, and if the plan the whole time was to switch it up at the last minute, then I think that's just absolutely wrong.
I think in your seat, even One Nation is suggested below Liberal. Do you know why? Have you been told?
I do know why. So a couple of weeks ago up in Queensland, the Liberals and the Labor Party, they preferenced each other. And it took everybody by surprise. No one really thought they would actually do it. And so I think everybody had to scramble and come up with a plan to stop them from doing that. If they do that in every seat in the country, no one's got a shot. No one will get a foot in the door. So across Australia, but largely in Victoria, the UAP did a couple of deals in a couple of seats with the Liberal Party to stop them from preferencing with the Labor Party.
But to those that will argue, well, that's politics. What's the problem then?
Well, when the basis of the campaign is we can never trust Labor, Liberal or the Greens again, and it's actually spoken by certain upper management spokespeople that they will be in the bottom 3, then I've got to call it out, man.
I know that all the candidates like me are working our asses off to try and get out there to show people that we're not politicians and that we need real people in our parliament. So yeah, everyone needs to look at the candidate, get to know the candidate and vote for the candidate. The party's just a vehicle to get us there.
Don't get me wrong, they've got really good candidates, and so many of them I reckon they will do a good job if they get in, but I just think it's concerning, and that's why I pointed it out, and the public needs to look at the facts, and I've presented the facts, and they need to make up their own choices. Still, absolutely, I reckon UAP should be above the major parties when people do their voting, but it's up to the individual voter, and this is something that people should probably consider.
I'm not very happy. Because my campaign has been based around putting the Lib Labs, is what I call Liberal and Labor, put the Lib Labs last. We need to put all the majors last, including the Greens, the Nationals. That's what my entire campaign has been about. It's what it's still about. And so I'm telling people to vote how you want. Number those boxes how you want.
So there you have it. You can see the candidates themselves seem distressed by the decision not to put the majors last in some seats. Obviously, UAP headquarters has decided to do it because they have to. That's called playing politics. They really want to win. It's up to you guys at home to decide, is that something that turns you away from the party and potentially good candidates, or will you let it slip for the greater cause? Avi Yamini For Rebel News, always bringing you the other side of the story here in Melbourne, Australia. No matter who, what, when, why, we will always tell the other side of the story and let you decide. So if you enjoy this report, make sure to share it far and wide, because I know online there's been lots of chatter about this specific issue, and the truth is always the best. So share it, let people know. And if you enjoy our honest and fair election coverage, head over to ozdecides.com, see what else is there, and consider pitching in to cover the cost. ozdecides.com. We can only do this with your generosity.